Good evening, and welcome to the music of the night. My name is Karnis, and I'll be your storyteller for the evening, the music of the night. And with me, I have our new usual crew of ruffians, starting with
kcStranger playing Petra Schweinsteiger.
Ice Nine playing Maya Barkley.
And tastymusic playing Scott Elwell.
So, last time we were introduced to Scott and Tasty as the group was mulling over some of the things that they discovered. The Nagaloshi, Elijah, had come to collect Obadiah, and Karen seems to have disappeared somewhere into what is most likely one of the realms of the Fae. So Maya and Petra returned home and were soon greeted by a knock at the door from Scott. Introductions were made. Scott and several other people present found out that Luca's beer can have a nasty kick for people of certain lineages. And yeah, everybody sort of talked into the evening, and Maya found out that Kenneth has a killer drug collection.
But not peyote.
Not peyote. You're supposed to say it with me. That's supposed to be in stereo, Karnis. Go
ahead. Sorry.
It's okay.
So anyways, we ended with the sun beginning to rise on the scene. The crew sort of passed out around the house, with the exception of Kenneth, who's down in the basement working on the leaves that Maya and Petra had brought him from the strange tree that was the only thing they could find where Karen had previously been standing. So, you all sleep probably a little bit later or longer than normal, given the events of the previous day.
Well, I'm sure I'm up before them, though.
I was going to say, which means that Petra, you're probably up around like 9. So you wake up, and you probably wake up as you hear the stairs up to the second floor creak, and sort of like open one eye, and you spot Kenneth sort of lumbering upstairs, looking exhausted. And you probably smell coffee brewing.
Yes, please.
Okay, you go to the kitchen. Vi's sitting there with a cup, reading probably her phone, because we don't do papers anymore. That's not a thing.
And she's not 50, so.
Yes, she's not 50. She's indeed a young woman.
Okay, I wander over, see if there's a goodly amount of coffee left, and if so, I'll pour myself some and just sort of sit next to her and drink and stare for a moment, maybe eventually go over to my phone too.
Okay. It is one of those nice, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the sort of constant pots where it constantly keeps a reservoir of hot water, and you just add water, and then it forces the hot water through your grounds to make coffee. So
that's oddly specific, and I enjoy it.
It's
I'm more of a
I believe you.
guy myself.
It's okay, Karnis. You don't have to look it up. I believe you.
Anyways, whatever. My buddy Steve has one. So yeah, it's a pretty much full coffee pot. So there's plenty of coffee for you.
Okay, I do that.
Do you have any sort of I get Google updates on certain types of articles based on my search history. What does Petra's Google update situation like?
That's a really interesting question. Let me think of this. I would say probably just like general news, especially like local news, actually.
Okay.
Probably a few like hobbyist things. Maybe I've got a couple like artists who I follow. Yeah.
Okay. So you see an article from not them. Probably Polygon, maybe. Talking about a art gallery that has been virtually loaded to a website, and now you can basically view the gallery three-dimensionally on the internet.
Well,
And
shit.
it's actually the local Akron Art Museum that did this.
All right.
And the reason why it popped up is because one of the artists you follow has a piece in the exhibit. There's also a article from not the Beacon Journal, probably something more, probably something bigger, like the Plain Dealer. Anyways, there's an article from the Plain Dealer talking about kids, a sort of a spree of abductions, infants anywhere between like 0 to 16 months.
Okay.
And yeah, then just sort of other random stuff, political articles and here and whatnot.
All right, I'm going to do something that I know is desperately unfair to a GM, but first of all, the artist.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can specify some things if you want me to, but like name, type of art, anything like that?
So I have an idea, unless you have something that
for it.
You really want. Okay, so his name's Pat O'Rourke. And
how do you spell the first part?
Pat.
Oh, just
Patrick.
Just Pat O'Rourke. Okay, I heard the O'Rourke. O as part of the first name.
Yeah, sorry, Pat O'Rourke.
Okay.
And he is actually he does sculptures, mostly wood carving, but he has been known to do sort of carving and sculpting in non-traditional medium. You actually came across him because you were picking up supplies for a job, and he was wheeling out a giant, what is the word? One of those giant spools of electrical wire that you see at Home Depot. Like, he bought the entire damn thing.
That's okay. Nice. Okay, interesting. And then the article about the abductions. When did these start?
It's a recent spree. So the first was about 48 to 72 hours ago.
Oh, okay. So this is super hot then. Okay.
Yes.
How many?
Yeah. It is 13.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah, that's why 48 to 72 hours later, it's already in the news. Because big deal.
Okay. I am going to sort of get Vi's attention, and then slide my phone over to her and just sort of say, I think something might be up.
She looks down, her brow furrows a little bit, and she flicks a finger across the screen. Yes, I'd read something similar. This is one of the reasons why the circle existed in the first place.
Something happened before?
Yes, when I was very young.
Oh. How long has the circle been up?
I helped to create the current circle when I was 16, but the original circle went up heavens probably before the Civil War.
Oh, so... Well, don't let me interrupt you. Sounds like it might have fallen before or something?
Yes. When I was in high school, there was someone or something managed to disrupt the circle that my great whatever set up. So there were a couple of girls that went missing, and when they were found, it wasn't pretty. Also, things like this, there were sprees of abductions and, fairy things.
Right. Did anyone ever figure anything out about it beyond fairy things?
Well, I don't have any solid proof, but I do believe the young women that were brutalized was the work of the Red Cap. That's a capital T.
T-R?
Red Cat?
The
Okay.
Red Cap.
Ah, got it.
How did...
So, and I look at this. The little bit that I understand, this looks different than that. So, what? Same problem, different, force coming through this time, if you will?
She looks at it, spins it back around, and says, "Did you notice the number?"
All right, I forget it. Was it 16?
13.
13.
Gotcha.
If I had to guess, I'd say this is payment.
Payment?
Yes, to whoever or for whatever helped bring the circle down in the first place.
Ah, well, if it's someone bringing down the circle, then... I mean, we can't assume, but probably not purely Fey, right?
No, that's what makes me think payment. The Fae care about symbols, but 13 falls more into... she sort of generally gestures towards herself. My side of the street.
Right. Always good to confirm these things. Honestly, you read fiction, but you never know what's true and what's not. So, I mean, if that's the case, then either we shouldn't be expecting to see anything else like this, or we should expect to see something different, right? I mean, if 13 has significance.
Yes, I would say if that's what's going on, then yes, we should see these cases unfortunately go missing for a very long time. If not, forever. But that does mean that somebody was working with whichever aspect of the courts decided that they wanted to try to get back in.
Right. Trying to think if this changes anything. I don't think we actually have any lead on this, so maybe not, but...
She holds up a finger. Werewolves? Fae trying to re-enter my home, and probably a dark coven? I'd say this escalates things.
Well, there's that. But, I mean, is there anyone we can get involved now that we couldn't involve before?
Possibly. I will speak to my sisters and see if they are available. At the very least, if there are multiple groups moving against our little group here, or just in general against the city, we may want to divide and conquer, if you will.
What's there to divide?
Well, my sisters can keep any sort of bad juju off of you guys, but they will be busy by doing it, which would leave them, of course, vulnerable to any of the other groups involved.
Right.
And we still don't know how the Winter Moons are involved, simply that Scott was sent by them.
In the corner.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me take a look at this. I'll see if I can dig anything else up.
All right. Should we wake the others?
Maybe if we know we need them for something. Otherwise, maybe best to keep them from being groggy.
All right. I'm going to go make a couple of phone calls then. Excuse me. She steps outside.
All right, and I want to see if I can find anything about where these incidents occurred. I mean, I'm just grasping for straws here, but any details that I can find, if I can sort of map the locations. Maybe they don't release that, but
okay. So no, the article that you read didn't release names or anything like that, but you can dig if you want to.
Yeah, I'd like to if I can.
That's going to be intelligence compute.
All right, just a sec.
Stop. So it takes you a little while, but after digging around on the internet, Vi comes back in and sits down, continues flicking through things on her phone, and you spend probably about an hour and a half sort of poring over sites. You don't get all of the names or locations, but you happen to find another handful of articles, some from small local papers, some from a couple of police reports that somehow got leaked. And you do determine that not all of the children are actually within where the circle would have been. There are a couple from up in the Cleveland area. There are several. One actually family is from probably about like 2 or so miles away, over in the general North Hill, kind of North Akron area, as well as several others, kind of ranging anywhere from Canton all the way up to just off the lake.
Okay. So Vi just came back in?
No, she came back in a little while ago, and
okay.
We were still digging.
All right, so I'll look up and I'll say, well, I found a little bit. How'd your calls go?
She shrugs. Non-committal. It'll take some convincing.
Okay, well, I did find one perhaps interesting thing, and I found the locations of a few of these abductions, and I'll just sort of point them out and point out, like, the significant range.
She nods. Interesting. I wonder then... So she takes a look and looks over the areas. This seems too scattershot, right?
Well,
why take them from all over these areas? If it is payment, why not grab from one area, one small region?
Well, either you're trying not to attract attention, but then that many within that short of a time period raises attention anyway.
Of course.
Or there's some significance to the identities of those specific kids. Or something else that we're missing. We
might have to see what we can find out specifically about the families. That will take time, however. So we're getting in towards 10:30, 11 o'clock. Scott, Maya, Luca start to stir. She, Violet frowns a little bit again and says, I don't know. I have to go and visit one of my friends who lives nearby. And hopefully between the two of us we'll be able to bring some leverage to the coven.
Okay.
I will let you know what I find out. We'll probably meet at midnight.
It's probably about time the others are getting up anyway. Do you want to wake them up and fill them in and say goodbye?
Oh no, that's all right. I'll catch up with you guys later.
Okay.
And of course, like I said, you guys are probably getting up right about now. Violet slips out the side door.
Scott checks the time on his phone.
It is 10:30.
I'm glad I called out of work today.
You guys smell coffee.
I go to the coffee.
Scott does as well.
Okay. No. I will lay out mugs for them beside the coffee maker.
Thanks.
Yes.
No, you just come in and it's already all set up.
Great. I get my coffee and I shuffle over to the table.
Scott has his standing, but he puts enough cream and sugar in to make it look, almost white.
Good morning, sleepyheads. Want anything to eat?
Breakfast too?
Waffles.
I need to find more strange houses to sleep in.
Sure, I can scrounge up something. All right, do I have to make some kind of survival check to find food?
No.
Don't you remember last time when I wanted waffles when we woke up at Luca's house?
That was at the game store, actually.
Okay, but I wanted waffles.
I
You
do
did want
remember that.
waffles.
That became a major point of discussion, actually.
Luca pours himself a cup and then pours another pot of water down through the coffee pot. Sets a second pot to brewing, and he opens up the fridge and sort of generally gestures and then shuffles down into the basement.
I'll try to figure out what he was gesturing at.
I mean, there's assorted sundry food items.
I grab a ham and slice it in icy silence.
There's not a ham. There is not an entire ham.
Darn, I'll make toast then, just to tilt you.
You make subpar bread.
Is it trying to regain its former glory?
It is, and failing desperately. Anyways, there's probably a couple of loaves of bread, so you toast up some toast. There's also probably eggs.
Okay.
Maybe.
May I make a check to see how well I do on the eggs? Because we all know this is something you can mess up.
If you want to, feel free.
Yeah, I want to. What's the check? I'm sorry, I have to know how good these eggs are.
This is going to be...
Craft cooking.
Well, it's crafts, but I'm trying to figure out what I don't know if it's wits or dexterity. It's definitely finesse.
Composure.
Yeah, wits crafts.
Rip.
They're eggs. They taste of egg. You forgot the salt.
How dare I?
So as Scott's eating the eggs, he's kind of looking at Maya and Petra. So what's the plan for today before we go to Rogue's Hollow tonight? Do you have some kind of setup you all do before these things? Like do we just hang out and eat eggs all day?
Petra's the one who's good at plans.
Normally it involves lots of Gilmore Girls. I wait for a reaction.
He's just deadpan. He thinks that you're being like completely straight with him.
I just kind of narrow my eyes at Petra. I'm just like, what?
No. my lame attempt at a joke. Actually, I mean, I'm sure
Oh.
Luca will have something to say, but it's just like, oh, we're so girly. So I fill them in on sort of what I talked about with Vi and the article that I found, and just sort of say, and that's about the shape of it. So it looks like this might be even bigger than we realized, potentially with some sort of dark coven involved. Vi is going around and doing things related to that. I'm still thinking about what we should do with our day. So
Hold on. I have like half a memory, and tell me if I'm like remembering this incorrectly.
Okay.
When we were in downtown Akron and we were meeting with those thugs, were they trying to get us to undo something?
No. Your deal with Damien was that he would give you the information and then you would send somebody his way that could magically protect a area for him.
Okay, so he was trying to protect, not to unprotect something.
No, yes, he was trying to get basically protection from magical type stuff in an area.
All right, that's all I have for
I
now.
even still have his card, and I legitimately intend to actually give it to somebody if I find the perfect thing, that I'm not going out of my way for that.
Yes.
It's been 3 months. I think
I still have his card. Still right there.
Sorry.
All right.
I didn't mean to derail, but I just couldn't remember.
Okay. So you guys, just to sort of recap, you have the other locations possibly still to check out should you so desire. You have these abductions that you could look into. We still don't know necessarily what the Winter Moons want with Scott. And there is always Nadia and that sort of aspect of things. You don't quite know how she plays into it yet.
Who?
Oh yeah, you didn't meet her. We haven't told you about her.
You need to explain.
But we could
I'll find out
imagine that
anytime.
maybe one of us dropped something about Nadia at some point. So you ask who?
At the moment, no. It'll come up when it comes up.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't come up last night. I was too busy, hearing about demons and such.
Nadia Tchaikovsky is a young woman that they rescued?
Abducted?
Question mark?
Yeah. And
Wait.
You're the one who was walking from last session? Who wasn't walking before?
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
No, Nadia was the girl that Mab seemed to be interested in when Karen first stumbled across everybody frozen. Oh, and there's also still the reason that you guys were at the skate park to begin with, which never really was resolved in any sort of manner. Which was Maya's brother, whose name is slipping my brain right now.
Me too.
Gabe. Gabe, yes.
Yeah, said he saw the guy who died.
Yes.
Andy.
Andrew.
Okay. I don't know. There's so many things.
There are a lot of things.
And not a whole lot of clear ways to go about it.
So what we know is that we're going to Rogue's Hollow tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
much.
much.
That is your plan?
We have about 12-ish hours until that.
Give or take. Wait, no. It's like 11:30. So you have like 7. No. You guys are going at midnight, aren't you? So yeah.
12-ish hours.
12-ish hours. Yep. I was thinking till sundown. My bad.
Oh, that's fine.
So I'll admit I purposely didn't bother waking you guys up, and when I did that, I was sort of giving up on checking the other locations because a few of them are spring, and the time for that is about to be over.
Okay.
So that being said, we've got a few loose leads. I kind of... What? The idea that immediately springs to mind is to use Wayne again, but that seems like something I probably shouldn't do.
Who's Wayne?
My boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
He's a policeman. He'd probably know something about these murders that these kidnappings that I don't.
Same diff.
Probably.
Does he know that
but
you're involved in? Is he? What was the word that I used?
he knows that I'm involved in something, and I specifically offered to tell him, and he specifically declined.
Makes sense. Now he has deniability.
Something like that.
I believe the specific phrase he used was, "The less I know about what's going on, the better."
So, all that is to say, this is a shot in the dark, but I run them down the locations where I found some of these kidnappings. I say, any of these spots mean anything to you guys?
What are this? Wait. I don't think they're gonna know anything to me. Mean anything?
No, they don't mean anything to you, Maya. Scott, you recognize a couple of the areas in Cleveland just because you know the area pretty well. One of them is actually a home that is like right on your way to work.
Oh, one's a house that I pass by driving into work.
Every day.
Really? Remember anything at all interesting about it?
Do I remember anything interesting about it? Nothing comes to mind off the top of my head. Just
you remember seeing the folks that live there? Younger couple, maybe a couple years older than you.
just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Nothing really stood out. No pentagrams on the door or anything.
Okay.
There was a big tree out in the yard.
There was a big tree.
It's a portal.
Bigger than normal.
It's a fey portal.
Fey
Okay.
trees?
Yeah, that's how they took Karen.
I thought she turned into a tree.
No, the tree took her.
Oh.
I sigh a little bit and I say, so this is potentially uncomfortable, but did you ever talk to the couple in any significant way? Do you know them at all? I'm wondering if we can learn anything from them.
Not particularly, but we can always go and ask.
I could taste the leaves.
That might be an easy and non-invasive, and probably you'll eat leaf, and there's about a 1% chance that something will go desperately awry. So, who knows?
1% chance if it's the kind of tree I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's the chance of it being that kind of tree.
Well, you would think that it probably isn't that kind of tree specifically. Given
I did just say 1%.
given that baby abductions tend not to be sort of the... Oh yeah, so there was also that other thing that you guys were talking about doing, which was going and raiding Karen's library at her office. Yeah,
I like that idea, to be honest.
Okay.
Because we can't go back to her apartment because remember something broke in there and I don't know if WTF it is and I don't really want to get whisked off to Feyland if something's going.
I don't. You can go to her apartment.
I mean, more likely than not, it's not in her apartment waiting for us to show up, whatever it is.
I mean, she never figured out what was going on. She didn't even go home that night. Like she
I didn't go
stayed
home
with
last night.
us.
There's a lot of things a lot of us don't know, I think.
Well, that's why I'm thinking her office. There still might be some information that we could glean from her, like officey things.
Sure, let's check it out then.
Research.
Well, and honestly, what I'm thinking, this is I don't like intruding, but I think there might be some things that we could learn from this couple, so maybe we can get them some kind of, I don't know, care package and go and, concerned neighbor wanted to, like... And the thing is, Petra's actually way better at this than KC is. So this is actually like a specialty, and I'm not thinking through it correctly. But maybe, Scott, you and I could go and offer our sympathy and see if they seem up to talking about anything.
Do you want to go with the care package route, or could we be a private investigator hired by another family?
Sorry about your kid. We brought you a bun to go in your... Oh.
Okay, how about this? We just go up, you introduce yourself as a neighbor, and we say we wanted to offer our condolences, but we're also investigating series of related incidents, and we're wondering if you'd talk.
I'll be honest, I would buy Scott's lie before the bunt cake.
I was kind of off the bunt cake idea, to be honest. That was never a good idea in the first place.
But I'm just saying, I feel like something a little more forthright as a lie. Like we're private.
We'll figure it out on the way there. After we check out Karen's. Who's Karen, by the way? Oh, she's the one who.
I look over at Scott. Scott, should the two of you go over to Karen's while I print off some business cards?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll use that angle.
Alrighty. Cool. So, Scott and Maya head out, head up to Tri-C, which is where Karen taught. You guys pull up to the parking lot. You ask one of the students, and they point you towards the histories and what's usually bundled with history, like history and archaeology wing. I don't know, something like that.
Sure.
And so, yeah. How are you guys going to get access to this?
Listen, I was just starting to think about this.
This office.
We asked one of the people working the office. We're friends of Karen. She's not feeling well, but we're doing her a solid and picking up some of her books for a few of the classes she's going to teach. For when she's feeling better.
Okay.
I was tempted to flirt with someone, but that might work better.
So
we could do. Why not both?
Yeah.
You make your way down to the offices, and there's a just sort of a small off to the side desk. Seems like one sort of secretarial person that takes care of this whole group of professors. And you walk up, and she sort of looks at you and says, I haven't heard anything from Karen. Perhaps you could have her give me a call, or I can call her myself. But unfortunately, I can't just let you take somebody's things. I don't know you. I'm sorry, but I would have to hear from Dr. Storm herself.
We should have had one of us sneak around while one of us talked to her. Can I pretend I didn't go in and Scott is talking to her and I'm going around to try and find the office?
Sure, you're going to try to slip past?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, are you doing anything specific, Scott, to try and occupy this woman's attention?
Yeah, Scott's going to lean over, kind of just smile and say, well, thanks so much. I'm sorry to put you out of the way. I know this is a little bit of an issue because she can't talk at the moment, and this would make things so much easier.
Wait, she can't talk?
Well, no, she's not she's not able to. She's not conversing with her at the moment, and you haven't heard anything from her at the moment.
Okay. I need you to make me a manipulation. You can do expression, persuasion. And Maya, you're going to be rolling dexterity, stealth, depending on how well he rolls.
Sure, I'm going to use a willpower on this too, just because I'm nervous about this.
Is there a specific reason why I'm not seeing his roll? Oh no, he hasn't rolled yet.
I haven't rolled yet. No.
Gotcha.
That's why you're not seeing.
Okay, so you're going to get 2 extra dice for your stealth and dexterity roll, Maya. So you turn on the charm, Scott, and she very quickly starts chatting with you back and forth. And while this is happening, Maya, you happen to slip past and begin sort of eyeballing the nameplates. You get a little bit further back down the hallway, and you see Karen's. You reach out, grab hold, and turn it, and it is locked.
I knew it. I'm not good at picking locks, am I?
Do you even have lock picks?
I have a bobby pin and a pocket knife.
Then you technically could try.
I'm gonna try.
Okay, so that is going to be dexterity larceny -3.
That's okay. That did not work.
No, it didn't. Why did it not work? There it goes. Oh! Is that a chance roll?
I don't think so.
I had 2 in dex and -1 in larceny.
Oh,
and then -3, so it was. Oh shit, guys! We have our first dramatic failure. Okay. Fantastic. So you take a bobby pin out of your hair, and you flip out your pocket knife, and you've seen people do this. Like you were part of a somewhat party scene. Like you've seen people do this. You've never done it yourself, but how hard can it be, right? So you slip the knife in, and you slip in the bobby pin and start fiddling. And there's a sort of cough behind you. And you were so focused, you jerk and cut yourself. And a little bit of your blood sort of splashes onto the door. It drips down to the, just like a couple of drops onto the floor. And you turn around, and there is not a hulking man, but a tall man, sort of light brown hair with a little bit of gray in it, tweed jacket, glasses, very Giles. Madam, how can I help you?
And I reach out and I kind of touch his form, and I go, "Oh my goodness, thank goodness you're here. I'm trying to get some stuff for my friend Karen. She's sick at home. You don't happen to have a key to this office, do you?"
As a matter of fact, Dr. Storm did give me a spare, yes. However, why didn't she give you her key if you were picking up books for her?
I meant to grab it. See, we're roommates, and I was supposed to grab the key on my way out, but I got all the way down here, and I was just hoping someone would let me in so I could get her books and stuff for her.
Ah, you're her roommate. You must be Maria then.
Yes. Hi. Nice to meet you.
He shakes your hand, and make me a strength. And what is this? Hold on. This is going to be strength athletics, I guess. I will also accept No, there's no. Oh yeah, there is brawl. I will also accept brawl.
Same.
Okay.
Let's see, Karnis. I need to know.
I can't see you either. So he quickly sort of spins you and leans ever so slightly against your back with your arm behind you, and you start walking forwards, sort of unintentionally, and then you hold your ground and you stop, and you feel your shoulders start to dislocate as he slowly takes a step forward. Do you continue forward? You can resist if you want, but it hurts.
Can I keep flirting with the secretary?
You have not noticed yet, yeah. You're still flirting with the secretary.
So, like, I understand what it's like being the front desk person.
Wait, hold on. She has to make a decision.
Sorry.
He can flirt while I have a chance to think about it if you want.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Scott.
I know what it's like being kind of in this, administrative position. I work in Cleveland, kind of doing a similar thing for a law office. It's not great, and every now and again you run into people who have egos bigger than, filling the extra space, the empty space in their heads. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm not sure if I would pick lawyers or professors.
Both have degrees, but somehow they still have things they think they know everything about.
Well, at least you probably don't get passive aggressive letters written in iambic pentameter left on your desk.
Oh, just passive aggressive, but the iambic pentameter is a new level. How do you deal with that?
Dr. Storm is a interesting sort.
Oh, Dr. Storm. Wow.
Thank you.
Who else would leave a passive-aggressive note in the iambic pentameter?
I love it.
I'm not surprised at all.
That's so very Faye.
Does she have any that are that you kept, perhaps?
No.
Wow. No, I would start making a scrapbook of that.
That's an idea. I mean, honestly, the rhyming scheme's good. And so at this time, what happens?
I still try to keep up the ruse that I'm not an assassin, but am just here to get my roommate's books.
Wait, who said assassin?
It just, you know what I mean? Right? Like I'm not like some badass. I'm just some roommate trying to get my friend's books for her, and I go, okay. Ow! I just kind of like.
So you take us another step forward, then probably.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So he sort of walks you out towards the middle of the room, and you are protesting your innocence.
No, I'm not like overly saying I'm innocent. I'm saying, ow, what are you doing?
Oh, okay. Yeah, just playing confused.
Yes.
He lets you go and takes a step back. Ma'am, I'm not sure what you and your friend here, he says, nodding over towards Scott, are interested in. However, if you do not leave, I will be forced to call the police.
I'm sorry, I'm just not quite sure what I've done.
What has she done, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, she was attempting, while you were distracting our young secretary here, she was attempting to pick the lock with, what was that, a bobby pin and a pocket knife?
I just shrug.
Amateur hour. He turns and walks away. I'll give you 3 minutes.
This all just seems to be a big misunderstanding.
Wait, 3 minutes in the office? What do you mean 3 minutes?
3 minutes to leave.
Yeah, before he calls the police.
I guess
you get the feeling he's saying he's calling the police in 3 minutes, whether you're here or not.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we have to go, Scott.
I turn to the secretary.
Give her your number.
Any chance he as much of an asshole as Dr. Storm is most of the time?
She's sort of glaring at you now, Like, wait, this was a ruse?
Scott just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Just, she walked in the same time as me.
She
Kinda
just
like-
shakes her head and picks up the phone and starts dialing.
He writes a fake number down on a piece of paper, hands it to her, and walks out.
She gives you the finger.
That didn't work.
All right.
Now I want to go to Karen's house. I should have done that first to look for a key.
And he left blood evidence behind. So
Did he say bobby pin and pocket knife, Maya?
You know what, Scott? Did the best of what I had.
I know you did. Okay, that's the best that we're gonna go with then.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
No, Scott's just walking. He's kind of like,
okay, you guys skedaddle, and I need to make a note of something.
My blood.
Also, don't let them know my name next time. I'm just David or something, not Scott.
I'm Maria.
Okay, we'll go with that then.
You're right. Next time, David.
I have the feeling that Karnis is going to be attempting to remember something evil at an unspecified point in the future.
My blood is on the door, so.
Rip.
Rip.
Rippity rip rip.
Now we just need Bex to be back, and then we walk in with her and just be like, no, look, see?
That professor is actually a warlock in charge of the Dark Coven.
All right, so while you guys are off trying to open doors,
I'm at Kinko's.
Petra is at Kinko. All right, so you're attempting to make fake IDs for you and Scott.
I'm just keeping it simple. All I want to do, well, let me think about this actually. Yeah, all I want to do is create some business cards. With it, they'll just say Barkley, Elwell, and Schweinsteiger, private investigators. I'll have like.
Why am I on it? I'm not going.
You're not going?
You didn't invite me. You just asked Scott.
I assumed we were all going up there.
Okay.
We would have talked about this earlier. Do you not want to go?
No, earlier you just asked Scott and left me out of it, so I assumed you were leaving me out for some reason.
When I said we, I meant the three of us.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
All right. Anyways, so, and I mean, heck, no harm in having your name on the business cards. Two of us can go up. So I'll do that, and then how long do I have to set up this ruse?
Depends on how long you guys want to. Yeah, how long you want to take. But before they get back, you've probably got a solid 2.5 to 3 hours, give or take. It's probably half an hour to 40 minutes up to the university, then give or take a half an hour there. So right around 2 hours.
Okay. I mean, I'll do some quick research to see what kind of registration a private investigator will normally have. I will make a judgment as to whether it's something I can reasonably forge in that amount of time. And if I can, I may as well at least make the attempt. But I want the backup plan of just having some simple business cards that just connect to our cell phone numbers so that I have something to fall back on.
So, for your quick research, you find out that there is a investigative license that you can get. It's usually through the police department and local government of whatever area you are working in. Sometimes state. It really just depends state to state. And but however, there are a not small number of people that claim to be investigators and do investigative work. They just don't have the licensure to back them up. So if they're skulking around somebody's house at night taking pictures and they get, tagged by an officer, they don't have the, background to sort of fall back on. But aside from that, there's not a whole lot that goes into it. A lot of the investigative firms that you quickly sort of look in on have some sort of law enforcement background on several of their individuals working there, or sometimes it's just like a single individual. So that always helps as well.
Okay. If there's nothing like super, I'll see if I can find anything that seems to represent like a standard. I will maybe send a message to Scott and Maya while they're like on the way and ask them to just like snap a quick picture of themselves. And I'll make something that, I figure this shouldn't be too hard, to make something that looks vaguely like an ID, and like has a few brief things, but doesn't really like claim anything that would be like legal hot water. Just to sell it slightly. If any such thing is normally done, but
yeah, you can slap the ODPS logo on there, which you could probably get with a quick Google.
ODPS.
Yes, that is the Ohio Department of Public Safety. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be potential legal trouble though if we were found toting it?
Sure. If you were found toting it and somebody looked into it and found out that you were not indeed actual licensees, you could be fined. Like it's unless somebody's trying to use it to leverage on you, nobody's gonna like send you to prison over it. But
okay, well then if it's something that I can make a reasonable forgery of in this amount of time, I'll go ahead and do that.
And I could be completely wrong on that, but based on everything I know, we're talking like a major misdemeanor at most.
Okay, I'll roll with it.
Alrighty, so you are going to make me 3 rolls, 1 for each of the licenses or the IDs.
Okay.
And this is going to be obviously crafts.
Why did it have to be 3 rolls, by the way?
What?
I said, why did it have to be 3 rolls, by the way? I really wanted to willpower this shit, but that's expensive.
This, I think, is... Man. I could see a case for dexterity. I could see a case for intelligence. Let's say intelligence crafts.
All right.
Because the majority of this goes into, how everything sort of is set up and using your brain to sort of manipulate the means that you're using.
Right. I want to house rule this shit so hard. I want to use willpower once.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, I want to house rule this so hard. I want to use willpower once and get +1 on all 3 or something like that. But I imagine I have to stick to the rules, right?
So yeah, no, you can't willpower once and spread it across.
All right, let me see here.
Yeah.
Do I? You know what? I think that if one of them comes out bad, then somebody can just be an associate who's unlicensed. So here we go. We'll just do it in the order across the screen, I guess. So mine, Maya's, Scott's.
Okay.
Mine's the best.
Yeah, you managed to get those all sort of hammered out, and by the time you get to Scott's, you actually knock it out really quickly, and it looks real crisp and professional. Not that the others don't. It just by the time you got to that, you actually feel real comfortable with how this played out. So You have investigative licensures-esque IDs. You seem official. And given the total successes there on Scott's, I'm going to say that you actually even managed to get some sort of website set up a little bit, and
Nice.
it looks like it would fall apart if somebody like moved around too much in it, but it looks fairly official.
Squarespace.
Cool.
Yes, you use Squarespace because you remember from a podcast that you could get it a month for free.
Nice.
And it takes 2 seconds to set up.
All right, so when I get done with that, I'll send a text to Scott and Maya saying, well, I think I got us covered on our end. How'd you guys do?
And I just text back, I really want to go to Karen's apartment now.
Do we have a way into Karen's apartment?
I'm sure I could find a window.
So breaking and entering.
It's Karen's.
Why don't we go to Cleveland first?
I don't even know. Like, this, who is this random family? Like, what is this gonna? I don't know. What is this gonna do?
I call Maya.
Oh, I figured we were already talking. So yeah,
Oh.
we're on the phone. I say that.
I had that all in my brain as texting.
Hey, Casey.
And I say, I don't know, have you ever watched Supernatural? I'm just kind of trying that.
Yeah, I have watched it. Today did feel very much like a Supernatural episode, minus the newspaper part. Like, it was on your phone, but like random news stories, yes. But I don't know. I'm not super comfy. I already failed today. I got my blood on the door. I was just trying to find stuff out. And I don't know. Now we're going to go talk to these random strangers who just lost their kid.
Sponsor us, Supernatural.
Okay, apparently I need to hear about what happened with you guys. Should we meet somewhere?
No, I say we're headed towards you right now.
Okay.
And I just briefly give her the details because it's not that much, actually.
Okay. Hopefully that should be fine. In the back of my head, thinking things about blood and stuff.
It's not going to be okay.
Of course not, but, you bleed a little bit at a random university, normally it would be. So I have no particular reason.
The dude just seemed to know very quickly that something was up, and he seemed to act without any possibility that what I was saying was the truth.
Bobby pin, pocket knife, and door.
Make me an intuition roll, Maya. So let's do, this would be raw wits.
Just wits.
Just wits.
Today's been a fun day with rolls. Okay, that's better.
Two things occur to you. The first is that you said you were her roommate, and he immediately spouted a name at you. And based on your confirmation of that name, he reacted in the way he reacted. So it might have been a foil to get you to give up that you weren't actually her roommate, which means that he probably knew something about Karen. The second is that he did seem to know an awful lot about Karen, and just sort of like off the top of his mind. And you get just, you have no proof. You have no evidence. You just have this feeling like he was watching her.
Yeah. I kind of, and I kind of relay some of that to Petra. So, like, something's up, something's weird. I feel like there's info that I wish Karen was here for, but I don't know.
But again, maybe they were just close friends, and he...
Yeah, but he
happen to
was
know.
super angry. Who does Karen know that's that angry? Well, that's a funny question. But
He wasn't really angry.
he was very vicious, I mean.
You were trying to
Like,
break into the office, though.
but who physically touches someone they don't know? Like, that instantly without, like, right? Am I thinking too far into that?
I a little bit, yeah. Like, yeah, he did react physically and quickly, but he didn't really hurt you.
It's a weird thing to do if you're not security, though.
You recognize the hold. It is a weird thing to do if you're not security. After the fact, you recognize the hold because Lucas taught it to you. And it's a pretty common hold that security or other people might use to help to escort somebody that was being unruly, or that bouncers might use to help, like, walk somebody out the door, kind of thing. So it is odd, but he wasn't angry about it. He didn't seem like he was trying to hurt you.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm just stuck in my head today, guys.
It's okay, no problem. We'll meet up soon.
All right.
And actually, immediately after hanging up the phone,
yes,
I'm gonna send a. Let me think. Actually,
Did you see the text I wanted to send earlier, Karnis?
I did not.
I want to text Luca asking if he thinks it would be a bad idea to go to Karen's apartment.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry.
And I was just about to say that I was going to text actually Luca and Vi and just say, call me if you have a moment.
Okay, interesting. Maya, Luca texts you back, and he's like, I basically, like, not that I can think of. Why do you want to go to Karen's?
I speech to text and quickly send him a text of the high points of what just happened, including details about the dude and that my blood was there, which will probably make him mad, but I feel like I might as well tell him now. And that, yeah, that's basically it.
He sends back a facepalm meme,
and I just
through the head.
and then he sends, we'll have to try to figure something out about the blood. If you feel like somebody's watching Karen's, I wouldn't necessarily go to her apartment either.
Okay. So then I turn to Scott, because I'm with Scott right now, right?
I'm driving.
Yeah, you guys are driving back.
And I just tell him, okay, I'm over the Karen thing for now.
Okay.
All right. Petra, you get a phone call probably a couple of minutes later.
Okay. Petra? This is Petra?
Oh, you recognize the number. It's Luca's number.
Okay. Hey, Luca.
Hey, Petra. What happened? What's going
on? Well, have you heard anything from Maya?
Yes.
Okay. You probably already know what you need to know then. I figured the damage has mostly been done, but maybe there was some kind of action we could take that I don't know about. So if you know, that's good enough for me.
All right, sounds good. You headed back this way?
They're going to pick me up. We're taking a road trip up to Cleveland to see if we can learn something.
Right, the folks whose kid was kidnapped. Okay.
Yep.
Be safe.
You know me.
Yes. Adios.
See ya.
Click.
Pick up Petra.
Yep, and head up to the Cleve.
Okay, I'll show them. I'll hand them the IDs that I came up with and said, I just went simple on the name, Scott, based on the quality. I think you're the initial lead on this one, but
cool.
Real quick metagaming thing.
Yes.
I so out of character. Out of character. Like, let me think of it. You know what? I'm going to describe this in character. That being
Okay.
said, if I have a chance to maybe talk alone with one of them, I'm actually not that bad in these kind of situations myself.
Sure.
Okay. You guys get your IDs. They look nice. Very, very professional. And you head up to the home. The home of the...
Do we have a name for these people?
That's what I'm coming up with right now.
Okay. But the newspaper didn't have any names, right?
No, Petra was able to find a couple.
Petra was able to, when she was digging through stuff, she was able to find
right.
some
That's
stuff
right.
These are the green bows.
Green bows? Did I hear that right?
You did.
Cool.
What other family were we hired by? If we're going with this PI lie. Do you have another name, Petra?
Sure. I look up another one.
Wait, hold on. What if they've already spoken to them, though? Clearly, this whole name thing is an issue.
Pick one further away. I think I found one down in, like, Canton or something.
You did find one in Canton.
I don't know.
And we're not going to, like, lead with that. We're only preparing it as a ready retort if they ask.
Okay.
I mean, because, well, actually, you know what? No, I say to Scott, actually thinking about this, in this kind of situation, wouldn't you normally just say we were hired by another family for a similar incident and not disclose? Yeah.
It's just in case they ask which family, we're not stuck dead in the water.
Right, no, good to think through all this stuff in advance. Any other pitfalls?
Not that I can come up with at the moment.
Okay, so...
Is it weird that all three of us would come?
A little bit, but...
I feel like that's a little odd. I might just stay back in the car.
That's fine.
So, Scott, you would, from your... just from work, when she asks if there are other pitfalls, you would know that there are a couple of things that could possibly come up.
Mm-hmm.
The first is, if this is still an ongoing investigation, the police may have the house under surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is that there could have already been somebody that stopped by from one of the other families. In situations like this, a lot of times, you might have 5 or 6 different groups sort of involved in stuff, and if you are the second or third, it's just human nature for them to be more resistant to you.
Hey guys, I have an idea. Was there a phone number in any of the information you got, Petra?
I'm sure I could look that up.
Yeah.
What if we tried calling them first before we just show up at their door?
Not a bad idea.
That makes sense, and that could also be your role, perhaps. And maybe we could even suggest that if there's some place that would be more comfortable to meet them than at their home, we'd be happy to do that as well. I mean, just suggest it. Don't force them.
Well, I wouldn't say that these are my skills.
Okay, so fair enough. I can do it.
It might not be. I'm not the schmoozing a couple who lost their kid type.
No, but she is very much the social dexterity type.
That being said, this actually does fall straight into my wheelhouse.
That's what I was hearing from you. So that's why I'm not saying like...
I mean, unless it's not the role I'm thinking it's going to be.
It depends what role. It really depends on what you do and what happens.
I understand that.
I just think that it might be better if we're gonna go in to like try and soften them up with a phone call, whatever it is. I can make it, you can make it. I don't really care, but like just to call them before we show up at their door and see, that might make them a little more willing to talk to us. It might seem a little more official than someone just showing up at your door too. I don't know.
No, that's fair.
True.
Okay, who's making the call?
I mean, I'll look at the others, but unless one of them thinks they want to, I'll do it.
Okay. You call, and the call goes to voicemail.
Okay. I'll actually wait. Let me. Yeah, I'll leave a message.
Okay.
I'll just say, "Hi, my name is Petra. I am a okay. Sorry, this is
That's
just
okay.
like performance anxiety."
You're good.
All right. Just as soon as I paused, I'm like, no, if you did that in real life, you'd be stuck in the water, like dead in the water.
That's funny.
All right, and then I just froze. Okay.
You can describe, just if it's easier, sort of the gist of the message you leave.
Okay. Let me try it one more time, and if I just can't do it, then I'll revert to that.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Rings
go.
through.
Yeah. All right. Hi, my name is Petra. I'm with the private investigator of Schweinsteiger, Ellison, or Elwell, and Barkley. We were investigating a first. Oh, I can't do this at all.
Just describe it. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
You got it, dude. You got
Okay,
it.
fine. So basically, just saying, I kind of wanted to try, but I can't. So basically, it's just going to be along the lines of, I mean, I suppose in real life, I probably would have spent like half an hour, like 20 minutes writing down what I wanted to say so that I could read it off smoothly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it'll just be, we were investigating something for one of our clients and learned about your situation. Very sorry for what happened, but we were wondering if you would be able to speak with us because we might learn things that would help us pursue this more fully. I'll leave the number and say if you would like to meet with us either at a location of your choosing or at your home, just give me a call back and let me know. Thank you.
So
There
as
you
you're about to finish the message and hang up, there's oh no, wait, this would probably be no. We'll say this is one of those rare random landlines.
Okay.
So just as you're about to finish, there's a sort of pickup noise, that odd sort of click rustle that you get whenever someone picks a line up. Excuse me, sorry. Did you say you're looking into the disappearance of Matty?
Well, actually, originally
Can't
for
hear
a
you.
different.
You're out.
Oh, sorry. We actually another family was our client, and we think that what happened to them might be related to what happened to you. So, in a manner of speaking, yes.
Sorry. Let me. My name is Sarah Greenbow. My son Matthew. He was taken. What can I do to help?
Honestly, ma'am, if you would just be able to spare a few minutes of your time to answer some questions for us and just tell us what you remember, really anything would help. We're just looking for leads.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a car right now. Probably shouldn't be driving anyways. Why don't you just swing by the house? My husband should be home in a little bit, maybe about an hour or so.
Certainly. We'll be there, and I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
But I do
Scott's
hope
kind
that
of like
things
looks
go
over
well.
and just like,
But I do hope that
Yeah.
things work out. I was literally thinking loss and not thinking what that phrase normally means. That is just a case you fuck up. Can I retcon that, please?
Yes, sure. Yes.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay, all right. Very sorry for what happened, but really appreciate your being willing to talk with us.
Yes, of course. Do you need the address?
Yes.
Yes, please.
She gives you the address, and it is, lo and behold, the address you already have.
Yeah.
Scott's been driving there the whole time, so it's probably maybe like 2 more minutes until he like shows up in front.
Okay.
These are literally just fails on my part because I never ever do this kind of shit in real life.
It's okay.
That's okay.
I don't think anyone talks to grieving parents as they're after their kid's been kidnapped.
Oh
but,
no, yeah, like that is such a minefield. Like this is the
Mhm.
stuff that happens in real life.
Right.
Anyways, yeah. So she just sort of says goodbye and hangs up.
And we're probably like 2 minutes away at this point because I've just been driving there the whole time.
You
I like
probably
having a driver.
shouldn't show up in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
do a
we
couple
need to
blocks.
drive around a little bit. Go
Well,
somewhere,
if
hang out.
we're looking
and
to make, if
plan.
we're
Wait.
looking to make a stop, then there's a place I'd like to go first, or like someone I'd like to contact as well. See if there's anything.
Okay.
I want to reach out, send a text to Sam. She's my EMT contact. Oh no, man, dead. Damn.
Okay.
Oh god.
Oh
That's
jeez.
great.
You're sick, Casey. Yeah. So you how well do you know Sam's schedule?
Decently. Like it depends just on what day it is. I'm just kind of reaching out. Like maybe she had today off. Like I haven't checked in with her in like a couple weeks, I'd say.
Okay.
Or like a week. So if she's at work, then it depends on whether or not she's gotten a call.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Does she work for the city or does she work for one of the private?
Just like Cleveland Clinic.
Okay. Oh wow. Oh okay. All right. So you give her a call, send her a text.
Just send her a text.
Okay. She messages you back pretty quickly. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm at work." Then she sends you a picture that is like her hand like on unknown body, like with like blood just covered in her hand. She's like a little busy right now.
Impressive, or like just impressive with one hand, and then like smiley face, and then give me a text when you can.
Okay, okay. She texts you in one hand as she massages a man's heart. the things they never tell you about the ER. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys drive around for a little while.
I mean,
go to a park.
Yeah, we'd
coffee.
probably like stop somewhere, right?
There was one other thing I wanted to do, like if just look for like a self-defense shop and see if I could pick up like a set of brass knuckles or like some sap gloves, just in case. All I have is a gun, and I don't want to have to just fall back on that if shit goes haywire.
I mean, technically, there are two people in the car that probably are armed.
Yeah, but I'm not.
I mean, actually,
the revolver
Scott,
that's in my.
Do you mention this?
Yeah, I'm like, can we stop by this before if we're spending some time before we go to the Greenbows?
I sort of glance over at him. What kind of training do you have?
Is he driving, kind of throws like a couple imaginary, like, very out of place jabs, like, just picked it up here or there.
Okay.
That's what Petra's face looks like too. That was the case.
I can't see it.
So here's what I'm thinking. Most kinds of brass knuckles are illegal. You have a gun. Can you use a sword?
Kinda. I'm more comfortable with these than I'd say with a knife or a sword.
Okay. Because I'm thinking I have a katana in the back, actually, believe it or not. Or no, wait, it's back at my apartment. All right, no, I have.
We're in Scott's car.
Like, no, but
how'd
I had
you
my
get that
stuff
in my
with
car?
Me. I had my stuff with me, so I'd probably just bring in a big, like, gym bag kind of thing, and I totally have a katana in it. That being said, to legally purchase anything that would be useful would probably take too long. And so unless you know a dealer...
And most self-defense, well, you can get these things on Amazon pretty quickly. So I assume that they weren't terribly out of place. Brass knuckles, yeah, illegal. Sap gloves are a little bit different.
That's fair. Would there be any place we could get something useful?
Well, I'm glad you asked because somebody needs to roll. This would be wits and streetwise.
Also, apparently in Texas, you can legally carry a sword now, according to our Twitch chat.
I mean, technically, and I say very, very technically, according to the ATF agent I spoke to in college, you can legally carry a sword anywhere so long as you're not concealing it and don't have intent.
Okay, so I'm a samurai then. Here we go. I don't have intent until the point where I actually need it. Then I have intent, I'm glad I have it.
She also followed that up with, however, you are going to have a conversation with every officer you meet. Okay. So Scott, you do not know of anything in the area. Maya and Petra, you guys can roll this too if you want.
All right.
What is it?
What was the check?
Wits and streetwise. For the two of you, since it's an unfamiliar area, probably -2.
Damn.
Wow. What is Maya? You're broken. What is wrong with you tonight?
I am broken. I don't know.
The world is rebalancing.
Oh man!
It's like the first time ever, so it feels kind of bad.
Just waves of good and bad luck. That would be so that would suck.
Yeah.
I've had it before. It does.
So you guys,
I must have touched the unlucky box or whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, continue.
You guys drive around for a little bit. You do find a couple of places that you're not sure might have something, but you check. You don't find anything. You quickly waste a good 40 minutes or so.
Can I ask if they know of any places that would have this stuff?
You get rumors, or if you go talk to this guy, he sometimes stays down at this bar, kind of deals.
Oh, not for brass knuckles, for sap gloves instead, because those are much more legal.
Oh, everyone tells you to go online.
I heard Amazon has drones now.
Yeah. And they're only $30 on Amazon, actually. They're not super expensive.
And you can do same day delivery too.
The really sad part is
could I do it to get to me or get to my address and
you have to go pick it up, but it can come same day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I say. I think you usually have to pick it up for same day.
Oh, well then can I do that as well?
Sure. I'm pretty sure there's a same day delivery Amazon down at
downtown
University. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. We're going back there.
You would have to drive past it to get to Rogues Hollow, so.
Okay, I'll do that then. Hopefully they'll keep that open.
I do know of that.
All right. So Scott orders some sap gloves.
And now we go back to the house.
Yes. You guys head back to the Greenbow's house.
Mm-hmm.
You pull up, and it's a pretty standard quasi-suburban house. Older. It's in one of the sort of revamped areas. Not Ohio City, but one of those Ohio City-esque kind of places that's been sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Restored?
Gentrified.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice older house, big tree. As soon as you pull up, you understand why that stuck out to Scott. This tree's probably 200 years old. It's massive. An oak tree, of course, because what else would it be? And you walk up to the front door, knock.
Oh, wait, does Maya walk up?
Now that you made the phone call, I feel better, so I'll come.
Okay.
Okay. All three of you go?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk up to the front door, knock, and after a couple of moments, there are some soft footsteps, and the door opens on a early to mid 30s woman in a robe. She looks like she tried to sort of hastily clean up, uh, but there are signs of bags under her eyes, and her nose is a little red. She just looks like she's distraught, which is totally understandable.
Does she look like she needs to be given a minute, or just like this is?
No. She looks put together, but there are still signs.
Puffy eyes and such.
Yeah,
Runny news.
The stuff we all get. Yep. She's got light brown hair, glasses. She's shorter than all of you because Petra and Maya are on the taller side. And she says, "Oh, hi. Which one of you is Petra?"
Hi. Yes, I'm Petra. We spoke on the phone.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. If you want to come in, my husband hasn't shown up yet. He should be home any minute, though. I have something, water or coffee, if you'd like something to drink. And she heads towards the kitchen area.
And I say, "Oh, no, we're fine. Why don't we just sit down in the living room?"
Whatever's comfortable for you.
Whatever she was going to put us towards anyways is
Okay.
kind of what I was insinuating, yeah.
She leads you to a sort of kitchen dining area.
Cool.
Sits down at the table and gestures for you guys to be seated. So I don't really know where to start for this kind of thing. I guess, what do you want to know?
I'll just look at her and say, honestly, we aren't entirely sure either, but just relax. We'll ask you a few questions. Just whatever comes to mind, just let us know. Nothing, you can't say anything wrong here. So, as I said, just try to relax and just let whatever comes come.
Okay. So it was, what is today? Thursday?
Friday.
No, Friday. So it would have been Wednesday morning then, I guess. I haven't slept much. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I understand.
I woke up and I was worried, because I realized that I'd slept almost all the way through the night. Maddie is he's 3-4 months. They wake up a lot. So I ran into his room and and she sort of stares down into a cup that she's gently holding with both hands, and her fingers kind of tremble a little bit. She takes a pause and takes a sip. He just wasn't there. Everything was in place.
My favorite easy weeknight.
And he just wasn't there. His blanket was there, and the crib was fine. But she sort of trails off.
Can you take us through your day? Tuesday, it would be the day that you had with him before. Is there anything that stands out in your mind about that, or is it just a normal day?
The police asked if I noticed anyone strange or if anybody had been hanging around the house, and I didn't recognize anything like that. There were a couple of little things. He looked like he might be starting to crawl. It was a good day. Honestly, that's That's what I remember.
Sorry, waiting for typing.
No, keep going.
All right. How did you feel? Did you feel any unease at all that day? Did anything seem off, or did you feel happy and positive?
It was great, honestly. Like I said, we had a good day with Maddie, and then Dan came home and we had a nice dinner. He went to sleep early, and so Daniel and I had a chance to spend some time together, which we haven't had the ability to do recently.
When you say he went to sleep early, did you put him to bed early? Did he just fall asleep more quickly than usual?
Yeah, he fell asleep rather quickly. She sort of points over to a small, one of those little rocking seats that you might sit a child in. Yeah, we were sitting and just finished dinner. We were gonna, I'd fed and burped him, and I set him down to see if he'd fall asleep. And he normally takes a little while. He doesn't want to go to bed, but he was out like a light.
Okay, and then did you take him straight upstairs after noticing he was asleep? Did you check on him at all later?
Yes. We took him upstairs, and he woke up once just before Dan and I went to bed, and then Dan said he woke up around midnight and went to check on him.
Did he say anything else? Did he seem to notice anything out of the ordinary?
No. He said he told the officers that he went in and Maddie was sleeping, and he just checked in on him and made sure he wasn't, laying on his face or anything, and then went and used the bathroom and went back to bed.
Okay, and
the husband still hasn't come home yet?
He has not yet, no.
And when did you first notice that Maddie was missing? Just right after waking up in the morning? Around what time?
It was probably around 6, maybe 6:30.
Do you mind showing us the room? That's all right.
Oh, sure. She stands and distractedly starts walking down the hall, and heads upstairs. She looks behind to make sure you guys are following, but aside from that,
as we're kind of walking, I ask if she has any kind of like security system or something like that on the house.
And Scott's gonna go to where like the rocking chairs and just kind of like see the layout of the room and see like look out the windows, see what he can see from there.
The one downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With the rocking chair.
So who's following her upstairs then?
I guess that means Maya and me.
Petra and Maya.
Okay. She tells you, Maya, that they do have a security system. Just one of the normal mass brand ones, nothing super fancy, but sorry.
It didn't signal anything?
No, it hadn't gone off. She leads you upstairs. You have sort of the normal L-shaped stairs going up. She leads you past what looks to be some sort of drawing room, study kind of room, and then the bathroom on the left side, and the next room on the right is a small nursery, painted in pastels, blue and yellow and pink, and there's a nice little crib. Looks fairly modern, but couple of stuffed animals and stuff laying in it, as well as a blanket and a small little pillow.
Do I see any signs that the police have cordoned off any of this, or is it just all okay?
You see small signs of things having been gone through. Like there are some baby books that have been sort of taken off of a shelf and stacked. And there are some things that look like they clearly aren't where they would normally be in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they've been shifted or moved, but not like ransacked and there's no police tape or anything like that.
Okay.
There is a window facing the front of the house, and it does. There's a really nice shot of the tree and the sun sort of setting behind it.
From where I am, or where the nursery is?
From the nursery.
Okay.
Scott, you take a look around the downstairs living room area.
Mm-hmm.
The little rocking bassinet chair is just what you might expect, made of plastic and stuff. Looks like it'd probably be comfy for a little kid. The windows face the side of the house here. And you just they have a decent sized yard, and you see the next door house probably about 20 or so feet away.
Okay. There's no view from like the street or from like the front. It's just only that side that they can
No.
see.
Yeah, this room faces the side of the house. So you have your sort of entryway foyer with the stairs that go up, and then the upstairs rooms are sort of all laid out along with the rooms going to either towards the back of the house or the front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kitchen straight towards the back. There's a view of the backyard and a back door from the kitchen. And the living room sort of takes up that whole long side of the house, then that faces the side of the place. And the other side behind the kitchen is a garage, and you presume probably a basement somewhere.
Okay, so as she shows us the room, I want to say, ma'am, my partners and I have a few investigations we can perform that sometimes the police don't. Would you mind if I just had a moment to look around the room and maybe some of the rest of the upstairs?
She sort of looks at you strangely.
If there's any place I shouldn't go, absolutely just tell me and I won't.
Scott's gonna be coming up with this point too.
What do you mean by methods that they don't? What are you going to be looking for?
And at this point, I want to sort of remember, it may be just some stuff that I've read about normal forensic techniques.
Okay.
I just want to throw in enough detail to make it convincing, but not enough to make a grief-stricken mother angry at how much I'm yammering about stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
But then, and then I also want to sort of vaguely think of a few things that aren't normally done, but have some normal scientific merit to them as well, and just say, police don't normally do this kind of investigation because frankly, most of the time it doesn't come up with anything, but sometimes on the really hard cases, it yields some results.
Okay. So I will grant you, with your investigation and intelligence, I will grant you your jargon.
Yeah, and also, if I say anything that makes sense of the fact that I'm about to pull out an EM detector and stuff like that, that's great too.
So roll me a presence persuasion.
Okay.
I feel like we could just tell her, but that's okay.
Yes.
It's coming up at this point as well.
Ma'am, a fairy took your baby?
Well, not like that.
All right. So she sort of nods and gets that glazed over look that people sometimes get when somebody starts explaining something that either they really don't care or is just sort of nonsensical because they don't know the language.
Right.
And she nods and says, "Okay, all right. Apparently she's Canadian now.
Australian?
Mm-hmm.
No, well, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
She says, "All right, sure. I'll leave you to it, I guess. Then." She points down the room and says, "Our room's down there, and my husband's study is over here, and there's a fourth room that has what looks to be sort of a library type, bookshelves, books, a couple of nice chairs, as well as what looks to be some of the really nice fold up exercise equipment type thing." So
to kind of like distract her from watching Petra, I kind of move over to her. What's her last name again?
Greenbow.
Greenbow.
Mrs. Greenbow, what do you do? What does your husband do?
Dan is. I don't know what he does.
That may not be a thing then. That's fine.
No. So she starts telling you about what he does. He is a lawyer. Why not? He's a lawyer.
Does he work for my Is he like one of
No.
the guys in my That'd be fun.
No, he's a prosecutor with the city. And
Well,
then
that must be rewarding work.
yeah, he keeps long hours, which is why I'm not really worried that he hasn't showed up. But I mean, he believes in something, and so
Yeah.
I was a nurse when we met, and I will probably, hopefully, get back to work.
Yeah.
I'm on leave right now.
Right. Well, that's nice that your work lets you take leave.
Yeah. So I had, of course, maternity leave, and then I just started, just sort of took an absence. So
Yeah.
As is understandable. Why'd
Right.
you two decide to move here?
Oh, I grew up in the area. Dan is from out west, but he came and went to Ohio OSU and just kind of Ohio. It's like an inescapable vacuum.
In a good way. Scott chuckles at that.
Did I hear this conversation?
We can't hear you, Casey.
Did I hear this conversation? I'll get used to it eventually.
Probably a little bit on the way down.
I'll just sort of shout out, "We're out west."
Sorry, what were you saying, Maya?
Oh, my intention was to try to help distract her from paying attention to Petra so Petra could do her thing.
Oh, am I within eye shot still?
I mean, yeah.
Sight?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I could be in a room while you're like in the hallway or something. Okay, never mind.
I'm just saying.
I was thinking.
Fine, yeah. I don't say anything. Whatever.
No, it's okay. I was
curious where out west Dan was from. That's all.
So, where out west is Dan from?
Shut up, Casey.
Okay. She says, "Oh, Oregon." He grew up outside of Portland. My brain my brain froze.
I hear they have good beer there. I haven't been.
I don't know. I'm sure Dan would talk to you about it though.
Yeah.
Is his family still out there?
As far as I understand.
Have you met them?
Sorry.
No, Dan doesn't talk about his family very much.
It's understandable. Those kind of cuts run deep sometimes, if there is any.
I I mean, we get letters from time to time, and I did see them at the wedding, but we don't keep in really, really close touch.
Where did you two meet?
He happened to be out, sort of chasing down some information. I believe he was an assistant to one of the prosecutors at the time, and happened to get roughed up by a couple of ne'er-do-wells. And he happened to come into the clinic, and I was there, and so I patched him up.
Oh, I like that.
Is she being honest with all this stuff?
Sure, give me a... That's going to be manipulation empathy.
I'm doing it too.
And Casey, while you're investigating stuff, that's wits investigation.
I'm gonna risk willpower for this.
Okay, willpowering.
Only 2. Good thing I did that. Damn.
I will also take a cult for yours, Casey.
Okay, I'll still willpower, but that does help.
The both of you, she seems too distracted, and honestly, she's very much enjoying this sort of distraction from thinking about what's
going on.
So yeah, no, you very much read that she's maybe forgetting a little bit, or not like going into super deep detail, but she's being honest. Okay. So Petra, you're doing all the usual digs. You open up the EMF, and you get the sparks off when you go by the baby monitor and the lines and stuff. But aside from that, it runs pretty normal. What else? What other sort of stuff are you doing? Probably.
If there's anything I can do to check. I'm trying to think of either like Fey influence or probably like normal human magical influence. I don't know if I'm like carrying anything that might react to something like that.
So you go through a couple different things. You maybe quote a little bit of scripture. You start looking in between spaces. So like you look along the door frame and like check closets and stuff. And then it comes to you, and you reach into your pocket and pull out that little jar of the goop. And you smear a little under each eye, and close your eyes and wait a second, and then you open them back up. And the room is just covered in these weird, thin, spidery scrawl. And at first you think it's just this like spidery network of symbols, and as you get closer, you start to realize that it's actually words. Very, very, very small, almost like someone, maybe a eighth of the size of a normal person, had just run all across every inch of this room, scrawling one phrase. He is ours. 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 And you feel the hair on the back of your neck stand on end like you never have before. And out of the corner of your eye, you look out to the tree, and you remember on the way in this gorgeous, beautiful oak that stood sort of sentinel over the house. But under the effects of the illusion stripping magic, you see a dead tree with all sort of moss and leaves sort of piled around it, and web and ivy sort of hanging off. And sitting on a branch is a short little man with a little red goatee, a shock of red hair, and a little one of those little jaunty caps like what Robin Hood might wear. His features are very hawkish, and you might even say cruel. And his fingers are extremely long and delicate and tipped with very short but definitively pointed nails. And as he sees you, he smiles and winks and vanishes. And that is where we're going to call it tonight.
Why do we have to be doing this without Bex? We need her knowledge.
So good evening, everyone. And remember, stay safe and avoid fairy circles.
And that's the moral of the story. Goodbye, stream.